Welcome everyone to my first ever video guide. You can call me Mick. I play on the Gilgamesh server for Final Fantasy XIV. I'm doing a Paladin guide for free company members. Alright, let's get started. So first we're going to cover all these skills that the Paladin has, one at a time, and how you're supposed to use them and when you would use them and all that jazz. So first you get Fast Blade. It just it starts all your skill chains, and it does a little more damage than a basic attack. So at level 1, you're just going to spam that. Next you get Fight or Flight, which is the Paladin's only damage buff. Early on, you can just use it as whenever it's up. Later on, you want to use it at a particular time, and I'll explain that. Next, you get Savage Blade, which is the next attack in one of your skill chains. So it's going to go Fast Blade, Savage Blade, and again, if it's part of the combo, it does extra damage. And it also increases your hatred towards the enemy. Next is Flash at level 6. This is an instant spell. It doesn't have a cast time, and it generates a lot of hate. So at level 6, what you're going to start doing is you're gonna open with Flash twice, and then you're going to Fast Blade, Savage Blade, Fast Blade, Savage Blade. And that should be all you need to do, because Flash generates so much hate that it's going to be really difficult for DPS and whatnot to pull the enemy off you. Next is Riot Blade, which is yet another attack in the skill chain, except this goes in a different direction. So imagine a fork. You have Fast Blade, and to the left you have Savage Blade, and to the right you have Riot Blade. So you can only do one or the other, Savage Blade or Riot Blade. Riot Blade does more damage, though not much, and it also restores your MP, which is very important later on. In general, I use Riot Blade almost exclusively. I really don't use Savage Blade at the higher levels. You don't need to use it anymore. So yeah, even at lower levels, I would, as soon as you hit level 10, start doing Fast Blade, Riot Blade, Fast Blade, Riot Blade. Next is Shield Lob. This is going to be your opener. So you can pull enemies from range. It has increased hate, and it's, other than that, I wouldn't really just use it at ranged. If you're at ranged, don't use it too much though. It does cost 120 TP, and for the amount of damage it does, it's not really worth it. So use it for its intended purpose, which is just to pull the enemy or to hit them at range if you can't get close to them for a little bit. Next is Shield Bash. Does, slightly above average damage, and it stuns the enemy for 6 seconds. This is good to have, although at higher levels, in higher level content, stunning really doesn't work anymore, so you don't have to worry about it. But definitely still keep it on your bar. It's useful in a lot of situations, and having a default stun like this means you don't have to put you don't have to have the roll skill stun on your bar. Although I guess that doesn't matter anymore, because you can have all 10 roll skills now. So, but in any case, this is handy sometimes, so keep it around. You won't use it too much though. Alright, next is, at level 26, is Rage of Halone, or Halone, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. And this is the third attack in your Savage Blade skill chain. So it's going to go Fast Blade, Savage Blade, Rage of Alone. And again, just like Savage Blade, this increases the hatred towards the enemy, and it does even more damage. So once you hit level 26, you're going to stop using Riot Blade for a while, and you're going to use the Fast Blade, Savage Blade, Rage of Alone, because that's going to do the most damage. Unless, of course, you need to regenerate your MP, which you really shouldn't, because the only spell you have at level 26 is going to be Flash. And you only need to use it, you know, twice a battle. Alright, next is Shield Swipe. Let me see here. Alright, so this has a 15-second cooldown. And it activates after you block an attack. So every time you block an attack, and this ability is not on cooldown, it's going to start flashing, and you can use it. Pacification is like silence for physical skills. So if the enemy tries to use a physical skill, like Fast Blade or something, pacification is going to stop them from doing that, like silence would stop a spellcaster from casting a spell. It also increases enmity. It's instant. It's just free damage, really. The pacification doesn't work at higher levels, so you just kind of just keep it there, have it right in front of you, so you can use it for free damage whenever it pops up. At level 38 is Sentinel. Actually, no. Let me jump down to level 30, which is Shield Oath. This is when you at level 30 you become a Paladin, and Shield Oath is an amazing ability. It's a great ability. So as you can see by reading the tooltip there, it reduces the damage you take by 20%. Just a flat damage reduction of 20% from all sources. It also reduces the damage that you do by 15%, which is not a big deal. If you're in a group, you usually want to be using this. Although I've heard that in the high level raids with extremely organized groups that are trying to optimize their damage and, you know, set records and whatnot, you want to always use Sword Oath. But while you're learning tank, while you're getting the hang of everything, Shield Oath is where you want to go whenever you're with a group. And the other thing it does is it doubles the hatred of everything you do. It doubles it, which makes it extremely easy to hold hate. I mean, at level 30, no one's going to pull hate off you. Maybe every once in a while, in the level 50 to 60 dungeons, when I run them, if there's a really good DPS, he'll occasionally pull, you know, a mob off me, and all you got to do is just flash one more time and you'll grab it back. Next is Sword Oath. This is this deals a slightly below average damage tick every time you auto attack. From what I've heard, it raises your overall damage by roughly 10%. You want to use this when you're soloing, and anytime if you're in a group and you're not tanking for whatever reason, you don't have the enemy doesn't have a hatred, or it simply doesn't need to be tanked, then you want to use this. So you'll be alternating back and forth between Shield Oath and Sword Oath rather frequently. So have them both available where you know where to find them. Alright, now at level 38 we get to Sentinel. And Sentinel is another amazing ability. It's a 3-minute cooldown, but it reduces the damage you take by 40% and it lasts 10 seconds. This is what you want to use when bosses are about to, you know, use their tank buster. This will ensure that you survive it easily. Next is Tempered Will. And this is your, a lot of classes have this. It's 3-minute cooldown, and it prevents you from being knocked back and things like that. It doesn't always work, so you gotta get the feel of whether it works on this and whether it doesn't work on that. Overall, good to have. I mean, I should use it more. I don't really use it. I just kind of like position myself where I need to be so that when I get knocked back, I can get back to where I need to be to start doing my job again. But yeah, I should really start using it, because unlike a lot of other abilities that don't stop working at the higher levels, this actually continues to work at the higher levels. All right, next is Bulwark. Again, another defensive ability with a 3-minute cooldown. This one lasts 15 seconds and it increases your block rate by 60%. The ideal time to use Bulwark is if you're in a dungeon and you're doing multiple pulls. Whenever you do a large pull, you want to use Bulwark. It's going to greatly reduce the amount of healing you're going to need, because you're going to be taking, you know, half a dozen to a dozen attacks at a time, and having a much higher chance to block all of those attacks is going to mitigate tons of damage. So that's the best time to use this. And lastly, we have Circle of Scorn. I kind of I'll jump down and do these abilities up to 50 real quick. I kind of skipped them. Apologies. So Circle of Scorn delivers an attack with a potency of 100 to all nearby enemies, and it also adds a dot. It also increases hate. It's instant. It doesn't interrupt your skill chains. Recast every 25 seconds. Just pretty much use this whenever it's not on cooldown. It's another great ability. Okay, jumping down to cover. This is what separates the Paladin from a lot of the other, well, pretty much all the other two tanks, is their ability to protect and support other party members. So you take all the damage for the intended target, whoever you target with the cover, and you only suffer 80% of it. So you take 20% less of the damage they were going to take. Now, I'm not sure if okay, hold on, alarm went off, so I need to stop this video and start a new one. So I'll see you on part 2. All right, bye bye.